Hello again, people. I am back once again on this godforsaken thing. So this is gonna be kind of a sort of follow up to that. Let's be real for once. Video I made. What was it, 2 nights ago or something like that? I forget. um, but yeah, it's gonna be kind of a follow up slash new video. This is mainly happening because I was looking back through the comments of that video, and one of them stuck out to me because it pointed out, it referenced a subject I touched upon in my previous one, which talked about my relationship life, and the comment point. I'm not gonna name who wrote the comment because I'm not gonna do a shout out thing like that. No. Uh, but the comment in particular pointed out that I only listed my bad experience with two females, and I kind of want to elaborate on that aspect a little bit first, then go into what I want to talk about next. Um, the only reason that there was two listed at that point was those were the only two that had the most significance on how I was feeling. Um, there was tons upon tons more before them, and if I took the time and effort to list out all of those, that video could have easily reached the 2 hour mark. Easily. Easily. Just that part alone could have easily been 2 hours. And I think 1 hour was long enough, and I didn't want people to sit through a 2 hour long video of me whining about that. So, and plus, it would be kind of repetitive because I even touched upon all the lies and deceits I had to deal with over the years. Keep in mind, I am 23 years old. I didn't get my first girlfriend until 21. That's a 2 year span. Put two and two together. There's a lot before then, but we're not going to touch upon that. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of clarify that because I know that comment pointed that out, and I didn't want to make it seem like I was only crying about two women only. But no, those were the two that had the most significance. There's plenty others before them, but those were the two that stuck out the most. Anyway, which now leads me into my topic for today. I guess I don't know, which is relationships in general. This reading that comment, it got my mind a percolating, and I kind of want to touch upon that. So I mentioned before in that previous video that I'm kind of an introvert. At least I think I did. I hope I did. But I'm kind of an introvert. If you don't know what that is, then wow, you're living under a rock. But um, an introvert is essentially someone that likes to keep to themselves, someone that prefers to stay more secluded from others. You know, they don't get involved in a lot of group activities, uh, which is kind of what I am. You know, and is it bad? Is it good? It depends on the person. It depends on how you perceive things. Most people see it as kind of a in the middle type deal. Um, but yeah, that's what I classify as. I classify as an introvert. Like I said, I don't leave my apartment a lot, if at all. I just had pizza today, and I didn't go out to get it. I had it delivered. I had it delivered, and the pizza place I ordered from is on my way home from work. So not only am I introverted, but I'm also incredibly lazy. But yeah. So the whole thing with relationships and why I bring up the introversy nature of mine is because for a guy like me, being an introvert the way I am, it becomes very hard to talk to people in real life, especially women. It becomes very hard because I have to think about what I want to say because it's if I don't, it's the conversation. I'm not kidding. Will just be, "Hey, how you doing? You doing good? Oh, that's good. Oh, I'm not doing really, not really doing anything. Just hanging here. Okay, that's all I got." Like that's what that's gonna be. Like I have to physically think of a topic to talk about, which that in of itself is a hard task to do already because I never have anything to talk about. I don't have any interesting stories from work that happened that day, or some this happened, or that happened, or this person said this, or blah blah blah. I'm not the type of person to have those type of stories to tell people. So talking in real life is a very hard thing to do, and on social media, on the other hand, it's very easy to talk to people. I kind of believe that we have two personalities to ourselves. There is the real life personality, and there is the social media personality. And with social media, it's a lot easier to talk to people, make friends, date. I really should say date since it's over the computer, but it's a lot easier to do that stuff because social media allows you to portray a different side of yourself that you wouldn't normally uh, do outside. Like for me on social media, I can make a lot of jokes, I can act crazy and all that stuff. I can go like, yeah, you did that stuff, yeah. I can do all that on social media because no one's gonna really see it unless you're watching this video, in which case you just saw me do it, so kind of defeats that whole statement. But you know what I meant. Um, versus if I do that stuff out in public, people are gonna look at me like I need to go into a mental hospital. And with that, it kind of forces me to suppress that nature down and just become this boring plank of wood in real life versus my more silly nature on social media. And I'm going off on a weird tangent. Long story short, it's easier to not be an introvert in social media because for me, when it comes to relationships, I kind of have to vibe with the person. Like it's not a matter of, oh, well, hey, we had this one good time together, therefore we should be together. Like, no, it's got to be like at least 5 good times together, like somewhere like that. I don't, I'm just giving a ballpark figure, but I got to be able to click with the person, like to really know that this is a special lady and I want to be with her. And for a guy like me, it's nigh impossible in real life to do because it's hard to find ladies my age, mind you, with similar interests. And now, hang on. Let's pause the action for a bit. Let's go into that for a bit. I know what I just said made it sound like, oh, in order for me to have a girlfriend, I need to find a woman with the same exact interests as me. I don't mean it like that. I am well aware that we all have our own interests, and we all will not have the same things. We may have similar tastes. Like, I like pizza, and someone may like Italian food. Well, pizza is still Italian, but there's other Italian foods out there that they like that I probably have never tried, but I could like. Bada bing, bada boom. It's like we all were born different. God forbid we all like the same things. If we did, this world would be very boring to live in. But yeah, I'm well aware that we all have our different things that we like versus what other people like. And what some things someone might like, I may not like. But that doesn't mean it has to be all bad. We could learn to love it. Uh, so I just wanted to point out because I know I kind of made it sound like I need to find a girl with the exact same interests. That's not possible. I'm well aware of that. I'm not stupid. Okay. I passed college for a reason. Okay, it was like 80% luck, 20% actual knowledge, but we don't talk about that. But yeah. So I just wanted to point out, but like I said, it's hard to find a female in real life my age, or at least around my age, with similar tastes. Cause like, for instance, I did a kind of a let's play on Gran Turismo 3. How many women in their 20s or whatever know what that game even is, right? If you're a woman my age, single, and you know what Gran Turismo is, type it in the comment. Let me know, because I'm curious. How many out there actually know what Gran Turismo is? How many women my age like the sport of bowling. Okay, that one might be a little more realistic to see, but it's still a thing. It's like it's stuff like that. It's hard to find that kind of thing. But in social media, you meet all types of people who are into gaming and all that stuff. You and like it doesn't have to be the same game you have to like. I like other games too, people, and hey, go figure. Other people like those types of games. Like, hey, we got something in common. And it's so much easier doing it on social media. Now, a lot of people probably don't particularly think, oh, getting a girlfriend on social media isn't really getting a girlfriend, you're just making a friend. But it's a connection you build, right? That's what a relationship should be, a special connection, whether it be in person or digitally. It's a special connection that only you two share, that no one else has with you. It's not like having a best friend in real life versus having a girlfriend online. Those it's two different experiences. One you can talk about things that you wouldn't talk about to the other with. Like one you share your personal griefs with, the other one you kind of do, but not to the same vein. And I don't know where I'm going with this really. It's just a weird tangent. That's what this video is gonna be. It's just weird tangents all around. But yeah, so that's kind of like how I am with relationships and why such a topic is really hard for me to talk about. Like a lot of times when people ask me like, "Oh, are you single? Are you taken? Or this or that?" I usually avoid that topic a lot. I just say that I don't like talking about that because if you noticed in that Let's Be Real for Once video, I had a lot of pauses, kind of like I'll be talking, I'd be like, like that. I would just pause because I had to pace myself. Otherwise, I would just go into a long rant, getting louder and louder and louder to the point where something in this room was going to get broken, and I didn't want that to happen. The paper I ripped was about as extreme as I was going to let it get. After that, I had to calm down. I had to calm myself down because I didn't want to freak out on camera. Although you could technically say ripping up paper is freaking out on camera, but we won't count that. But yeah, so topics like that are real touchy for me because it's just like I don't like talking about it because it just reminds me of who I am as a person in this reality versus digitally. It's just like, well, what qualities do I possess? I possess none. Don't worry, I'm not gonna go into any depression rant. I'm trying to not make that a thing. I'm trying my best to keep that under wraps. There are times where it slips. I slip into that mode, and I admit it. But I'm trying to keep that under control. But again, I just ask, like, what qualities do I possess to even have a shot with a girl? It's not something I like to talk about because it just makes me think more and more and more about how little I have and just, wow, you suck. Uh, but yeah, it's just it's hard. Okay, a lot of my fellow introverts out there can probably agree that it's hard. It's hard being secluded, and there are times where it does get lonely. There are times where I do genuinely get lonely around here. And even the act of making friends in real life is a real challenge for me as well. Because again, not many people my age share the same interests. Blah blah blah. In fact, the place I work at is primarily old people. I'm one of the more younger demographic, and there's not that many of us in there. A lot of it's middle-aged to elderly people, but I'm not going to go into that. I'm not allowed to talk about my job in detail, so just that little sprinkling there. But yeah. So again, it's very hard. Like a lot of the things I just described with people, you primarily would find in your school days. Like high school, college, or stuff like that. Once you get out to the working world, that kind of stuff kind of disappears. People are more focused on waking up for their job. Paying off their bills and things like that. They don't have time for Oh, I'm gonna play my game. Gonna play my game. Yeah. You know, people with more serious jobs, they don't get really much time to worry about that. Like for me, I come home. Oh god. Oh, excuse me. Uh, I come home from work and I have to worry about, oh, what am I gonna eat for dinner? Am I gonna cook something? Am I gonna get takeout? Am I gonna go somewhere? Blah blah blah. You have to think about that, and then by the time I think about what the heck I'm gonna eat for dinner and actually cook it and eat it, it's already 7 o'clock at night. I don't have much long to stay up because I need to go to bed and wake up the next day. It doesn't leave me a lot of time to do anything really. I can eat dinner, chill out on my couch for a little bit, then I gotta go to bed. Uh, it's quite a drag, really. The weekends are really where I get the most time to, just hang out and do whatever I want, cause it's the weekend. So, you know, just to my point, a lot of people with jobs like that just don't have time to do much of anything. So it's, well, what are you gonna do? So, what does this have to do with any type of relationship? What? Nothing. That's what. I don't know why I went on that tangent. Like I told you, it's gonna be nothing but just random tangents this entire video. Uh, and but yeah, it's just tons of bad experiences with relationships in the past. A bunch of lies, deceit, uh, lots of things I don't want to talk about on camera because it's just a touchy subject altogether. But it's tons more than what I mentioned in the previous video. That's just the tip of the iceberg, people. It's nowhere near the full story of that, but I just kind of wanted to air that out and kind of my whole stipulation with relationships in general, and it's just crazy to be honest with you. Like a lot of and like you go online, you see all these teenagers and whatnot, 12 years old or whatever, talking about they got girlfriends and boyfriends or anything like that. And it just I look at that stuff and I'm like, you have no such attachment to people. You have no such attachment. How can a 12-year-old possibly understand the concept of love? How could they understand what it actually means to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, What, like, that's much more than just saying I love you to a person or saying, ooh, they're so sexy and stuff like that. Oh, like, it's much, much more than that, people. Having a girlfriend or, we're just going to say a romantic partner. Having a romantic partner is a commitment. It is a commitment that you will stay with them even through the hard times. You will support them no matter what. You will love them unconditionally. That's what having a romantic partner means. It's much more than just saying I love you to a person. Anyone can say I love you to anyone. Yeah, but then we come off as a creep. But you get my point. Anyone can say I love you. It's hard for people to say, even though you just had this whole depression episode, where you kind of lashed out at me, I still love you. It's kind of hard to look at that because you you know you look at all these young people online where they get one little bad experience with their romantic partner. Oh, he said this to me. Oh, I'm sad because you're not talking to me. Blah blah. It's like, really, you're gonna have that kind of freak out over just one little bad time. You understand how many married adult couples fight all the time? How many go through a divorce? Like, you got nothing to cry about. I'm sorry. But it's just a really, really awkward thing. I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for it, but I don't really care. I don't personally believe in having a boyfriend or girlfriend at such a young age. I really don't. When I was that young, I wasn't even focused on girls at that point. I was focused on getting my butt through school, as it should have been. But yeah. But even so, we're on that subject. I also don't believe in love at first sight. Call me crazy. Call me crazy, but I don't believe in that. I think I mentioned it in my Let's Be Real for Once video, but Yeah, I don't believe in love at first sight because you can't tell me that you're gonna look at someone without even knowing a thing about them and how they operate on a daily basis and say that's the one. That's the one right there. I can feel it in my heart. I have it. I know it. I feel it. That's the one. You cannot convince me that that's an actual thing. That's impulse at most. That's impulse. Love at impulse does not always work. If you don't believe me, take a look at the amount of baby mamas and baby daddies out there. The amount of single mothers whose young baby daddies left them because they don't want a child. But you're willing to have sex with that girl because you supposedly love her, so you're gonna love that child. I'm not gonna get into that. Dang it! I went off on another tangent again. Uh, ay ay ay. This time was on a subject that's even more touchy. God, now I'm gonna get a bunch of comments talking about you know anything about ah, but I don't care. What was I saying? But yeah, it's like I don't believe in love at first sight. You gotta know the person before you can say that's the one. You gotta know what they are, because there's a lot of people out there where you think you may have something, but that's just really them telling you what you want to hear. Like any, I hate to say this, but anyone can say anything to get your love and affection, right? They can say anything they want. They can be the perfect person for you for that one instance to get you hooked, to make you believe that there's nothing wrong with them, there's nothing bad, you know. But then years down the road, that lie is going to end, and you're going to see that person for how they truly are. And for the first time in your life, you're going to actually look at that person and think about your relationship with them and how you actually feel. Because now you have to judge what you're seeing currently versus what you saw the first time you met them, right? You know, a guy can walk up to a girl and be like the perfect gentleman, right? Just treat them like a queen, always be there for them. But then years down the road, they get too they get too contemplated, and that's not the right word, but contempt. That's the word. They get too contempt. And then suddenly everything changes, and now that guy you thought was a cool person suddenly becomes a jerk. But now you're stuck with him because you saw them as a perfect gentleman. Now I could be wrong. I could be wrong. You know, there are times where that thing happens and it stays. It stays like that. You know, that person's just a genuinely good guy or something. You know, or genuinely a good woman. You know, genuinely a good person. Yeah, that's. I'm not saying that's impossible. That's definitely a real thing too. But I'm also saying that people can easily be what you want them to be, just for the sake of getting on your good side. You know, it's a game, really. You have to know how to play the game, and I, along with a lot of people, have been victims of the bad side of the game. You know, I fell for many sob stories in my time. You know, where I just gave in, like, oh, this girl had bad experiences in the past, and I just kind of gave in, and it led to a lot of things where it's like, dang, what happened to that sweet little girl I knew? The one that's, you know, constantly chatting with me, pouring her heart out to me, you know, and all that stuff. And it leaves a lot on the mind, you know, it makes you think, you know, that stuff. While yes, it does upset me greatly that it happened, it also kind of, in a way, I'm glad it happened because it kind of teaches me a lot about this kind of thing and who I am as a person and what I prefer. You know, I don't prefer these women with these big breasts or a lot of money or this or that. I don't prefer material things in a girl. I could care less what they have, what skin color they are, how fat they are. You know, you could be the fattest person in the world. All I care about is what's in here. You can't really see it, but what's in that heart. And also what's in the mind, too. Essentially, I care about their personality, you know. You know, a lot. I always lay this analogy out to people when on this subject. I always say this: you got two people. One is the most beautiful person in the world, absolutely no flaws. Everything is perfect. However, they have the worst personality in the world. They are the meanest person ever. They have no remorse for anything, no care for anyone but themselves. And then on the other hand, you have this hideous abomination of nature. Absolutely disgusting. I'm talking uglier than the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm talking uglier than Igor, right? Like, we're talking serious levels of just ickiness and crustiness and just absolutely terrifying to look at. But they are the sweetest person you're ever going to meet in your life. They will do nothing but respect you for who you are, no matter what you have. They only care about you, who about you right now, who you are as a person. That's what they care about. That's their personality. Then I ask, now which one are you gonna date? The super pretty one, but the super pretty one with the horrible personality, or the super ugly one with the awesome personality? And 10 out of 10 times, I'm not even gonna say 9 times out of 10. 10 out of 10 times, they go with the ugly person, not because of their ugliness, because of that personality. That's what I care about. It's like I said, I don't care what things a girl has. You know, she can flash her boobs at me all she wants. She can be flirtatious all she wants. And all that crap. I can care less. If you're gonna come with me with that crap, go next door. It's a horny male who wants to beat his meat off to a horny female. Go talk to him. Don't come to me with that nonsense. I don't want that. That's not what I want. I don't want a horny girl. I want a girl who can treat me with respect, who can love me for who I am, and I in turn will do the same thing. Right? That's all I ask for. But again, it's very, very hard to find a woman like that. I'm not gonna say it's in the realm of impossibility. Like, it's possible, but I'm saying that in my case, it's very hard, because it's like, I'm gonna be honest, I can be kind of a naive guy. I can be kind of a gullible man at times. You can just lay a sad story on me, and I might fall for it. I most likely will fall for it. And it's kind of a blessing and curse of mine, because on one hand, it shows that, oh, I'm compassionate, I care about people. On the other hand, it's like, wow, you'll fall for anything anyone tells you nowadays, really. Like, it's kind of a benefit of the doubt, really. And it's really hard to find a woman with, just a good personality, just a good mindset, knowing right from wrong, not getting in any trouble, not getting involved in drugs or anything like that. It's difficult, really. I like to say that I almost want to say this world is comprised of playboys and playgirls, but that'd be kind of um, stretching it a bit. I've already made some very judgmental and very controversial statements on this video already. I don't need more, but it's wild, man. It's just wild. The amount of I'm not gonna say I haven't tried. At this point, at this stage in my life, I kind of just stopped really trying because it's like it almost feels like I'm just gonna run into the same problems again and again and again, and you know it. You kind of start thinking to yourself, what's the point of trying if you're just gonna run into the same thing, right? Like, what's the point of trying? And yeah, I'm sorry if I'm yawning a lot. It's like 2 in the morning right now. But that's kind of just how I am with this whole stuff with love and all that. I'm not gonna say that love is crap and I don't believe in it. And if you believe in love, then you're a fool for believing in it. I will say that love isn't always the perfect time in the world. There's you will run into hardships and you will have heartbreak, and I'm not going to sit here and say you won't. You will have it. It is a fact you will never escape from. Love will only bring you heartbreak, but it can also bring you happiness and joy and prosperity. And while I may have a different opinion on it, I do truly hope that everyone else out there who has that opportunity and has that chance, they seize it and they run away with it, make the most of it. Just go to town, not like that, but go to town. Uh Make it the best times of your life, cuz you know it's truly a blessed thing to be able to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, It is truly a blessed time, and I truly hope that all of you out there who has the opportunity, um, I wish you the best. And for me, I don't know if I'm gonna have the opportunity again. It's kind of like I'm more so the best friend type. If you need a best friend, I'm there. But if you need a boyfriend, I don't know. You probably got to look somewhere else. I don't wholeheartedly believe I'm boyfriend material. Some may say otherwise, but I say no. Just no. There's nothing about me that screams boyfriend material. To be honest with you, I'm more of a friend person, and yeah. But for those out there who do have that chance and are that lucky in life, then all the power to you. I wish you the best, and yeah. But that's kind of my whole stance with that. All this came from one comment, by the way. But yeah, it's just some thoughts that were circulating in my head, and it got me wondering, and I just felt like I had to make this video for it. So yeah, this isn't gonna be an hour long video. I promise you, it's not. In fact, as I'm looking at the time, we're almost at 32 minutes. So yeah, this is gonna be significantly shorter. Significantly shorter. Uh, it's just a lot. It's just crazy. There are more things I could talk about, but like I said, I don't want another hour long video on YouTube. So, I try to keep these things below that time because it feels like an hour. I'm just going on and on and on about the same things over and over again, and yeah. But that's kind of my whole stance with love. It's out there for other people. I personally don't think it's out there for me no more. I've had my chances, and they've either squandered themselves or whatever. So it is what it is for me. But for all you out there who have that chance, take it, and I wish you the best of luck with it. I really do. I really, really do. I don't want to come off as some heartless, joyless jerk off who hates everything about love. I have my gripes with it. I have my own personal hesitations towards it. But I'm not gonna let that dictate me as a person. I'm not gonna let that make people see me as this grumpy, depressed man. I don't want people to see me like that. I have my own opinions about love, and it's not entirely rainbows and roses and all that stuff. But I understand other people think differently, and I will respect that wholeheartedly. Um, if you have similar experiences, kind of like what I described, make a comment about it. I'm always interested in hearing other people's perspective from it, or if you have things that you kind of want to counterpoint, what you said in this part of the video was it was, I agree with it to a point, but you also got to remember that, this and that, and I don't want someone trying to come in being social warrior hero and trying to tell me about how wrong I am and that I need to have a better outlook on life. I don't need that kind of thing. I'm not asking for that type of stuff. This is mainly just to kind of talk about this kind of thing because again, it had my mind rolling and I kind of wanted to express some of the thoughts I had on camera on the video for others to see and hear. So, yeah, that's kind of how I am. Like I said, this kind of thing is not the type of topic I like to talk about. It's kind of one that, like I mentioned, the let's be real for once. It's kind of a topic that sort of precipitates the whole negative aspect of me. So, yeah, because it just, man, I wish I had better qualities myself. But, like I said, we're not gonna get depressed. We're not gonna get depressed. We are not getting depressed. So, with that being said, that's all I got. I got no more. So, yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. I don't really care. You know, like I say, if you have other opinions you want to share, like maybe similar experiences or something like that, put it in the comment section below. I'll check it out when I can. And yeah, other than that, I'm about done. Peace.